Well, hello everybody and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, hello, welcome to my channel. I hope you are doing super duper well today. So for today's video I thought I would talk about something that I personally experience myself quite a lot. I see it happen quite a lot and I hear about it quite a lot. And that is when people say, well, you don't look disabled, and therefore they don't think you should be doing what you're doing, or they think you're lying, or whatever they're doing it for. It's the whole you don't look disabled, like disabled has a look. So for some unknown reason, people seem to think that there is a certain look that you have to be disabled, and if you don't have that look, you aren't disabled, basically. And I think that's people just not having their mind open to the fact that there are things such as invisible illnesses and things that are going on in the outside, or even illnesses that maybe you can see but sometimes don't affect you as badly as others. And I think obviously the most obvious one is if you don't have a leg or an arm, or you're in a wheelchair all the time, or you're old. If you're young, people think that you are healthy and that you are too young to be disabled, blah de blah de blah. It's just, it happens to me, it has happened to me, and I see it happening and I hear it happening. And a lot of invisible illnesses are illnesses obviously which are invisible. You can't see them on the outside. On the outside you look completely normal, you look healthy for the most part. I think is the most common one that I hear about from my friends, or that I see in the papers. I know I read one recently, or maybe it was a video, I think I read it though. And that is people parking in a disabled in a disabled space when they don't look disabled. Now, I hate the whole like you look disabled, because there isn't a look that you have to be disabled. And I know that I read one recently where a woman and her daughter went to a shopping mall centre, wherever you are in the world, and the mother is disabled and she has a wheelchair. She's not wheelchair bound, and some days are better than others. Some days she is able to walk a little bit, some days she can't walk at all. And on this day she happened to be having a half decent day when they got to the shopping centre, and they parked in the disabled space because she has a disabled spot. And someone obviously saw them and they left a note. And now this woman and mother had a really good day in the shopping centre, because the mum was having a good day and managed to walk around the shopping centre slowly, albeit, but managed to walk around the shopping centre with her daughter, which she hadn't done in a while because she was having, she had a bad spell and she was having a relatively good day. She paid for it after and she didn't feel so good when she got back to the car, but at the time of getting out the car and, for the most part of the day, she was having a really good day health-wise and everything. And someone saw them and obviously thought that they didn't look disabled, because there's a look. And they left a note on the car saying that they should be ashamed of themselves for parking in a disabled bay when there are plenty of people that are disabled and need it, and all of this. And I know if I got a note like this, I would be horrified. I would get so upset. And so did this woman, because just because you happen to see this woman when she was having an okay moment doesn't mean you know this person's life, doesn't mean that you know what is wrong with this person, if there's something wrong. I know there are plenty of people that do park in disabled bays that aren't disabled, because I've seen it happen in terms of I know the person. And I will go and talk to them. And I had a conversation with someone, a customer at work, about it, because they moaned that someone parked in a disabled bay and shouldn't. And I did turn around and I said, but you don't know what's going on the inside. Just because they look healthy, that they're standing and they're not in a wheelchair, they've got all their legs and arms and feet and whatever, doesn't mean that they're not disabled, doesn't mean that, they don't have a disability and they're just okay at that moment. You could see them when they're okay, and 5 minutes later they could be collapsed on the floor and need their wheelchair again. You don't know someone's life, you don't know what happens behind closed doors, you don't know what happens inside a body. And there is no look to be disabled. You don't have to be a certain age. You can be newborn, you can be 90 years old, you can be 25, 30. There is no age, and there's no look, and there's no, obvious signs necessary that someone's disabled. Yes, sometimes there is, an obvious look in terms of wheelchair bound, no leg, no arm. I get that, but disabilities aren't always visible. You know, something can be covered up, something can be different from when you see them in 1 minute, and 2 minutes later when you're gone it's a whole other story. And I think that people need to understand and open their mind a little bit more. And you know, it's not judging a book by its cover. There's no look to be disabled. If someone's got a hearing loss, can you see that? No, you can't. I had it by doctors. You don't look sick, you look fine, you look healthy. I went to a restaurant for my sister's birthday. Was it my sister's? I think it was my sister's. And I don't really go to restaurants to eat because of getting places after isn't really very possible. And I remember my mum being like, right, we'll take the wheelchair with so that obviously you can get home after. Do you want to go in the wheelchair, or do you want to just have the wheelchair for after? And I instantly said I want to just go in the wheelchair, although I didn't need to be in the wheelchair from before I ate because I was having a relatively okay day. Because I wasn't need to be in that wheelchair, I still felt like if I walked in and then I went out in a wheelchair, people would be judging me. And I know I shouldn't care and it shouldn't happen, but it does. And even that, like, that angered me because I was like, why should I have to feel like this? Why should I feel like I'm going to get judged by other people? What frustrates me the most is even when people kind of know me, they'll still like judge other people because if they can't see anything wrong with them. And it's like, well, you know, I have an illness. Does that mean that you don't believe me when I say I have an illness? When I had my feeding tube, and people would still be like, oh, but you look so healthy. Yes, I decided to stick this tube up my nose, down my throat, through my stomach, into my small bowel, just for fun. So I think my message for this video, even though I've just rambled on, is just please don't judge people by what they look like, because just as people don't know what's going on inside your body, you don't know what's going on inside in their body. You see them for 30 seconds, you don't see them what happens 30 minutes later or even a minute later. Like, please don't judge someone because they look fine, because there are so many illnesses and disabilities that are not visible, hence invisible illnesses, and you then don't see what you're doing to their mental health as well. Just open your mind up to the fact that not all illnesses and disabilities are visible. There are so many that aren't, and there's no look to be disabled. I don't know if this video made any sense because I just rambled. I didn't actually bother to kind of script out what I was going to say. I just thought I'd wing it, and whatever comes out my mouth is what is in my heart. So yeah, I think that is all for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it or learned something, or it opened your mind up a little bit more in terms of illnesses and disabilities, because we really need to spread the word on invisible illnesses. We really need to raise that awareness. And I'm not just talking for the ones that I have, I'm just talking for invisible illnesses in general. We need to raise awareness for it. So please do that, whether it's sharing this video, whether it's talking to people, or if you see it happening, saying something to the person, having a conversation with someone if you hear them say something. Whatever it is, please just help raise the awareness, spread the word, and try and stop this discrimination and this thing in people's head of you have to look a certain way. So yeah, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you would like to have any input on this video, or you have any experiences, I'd love to hear them, and I'd love for people to be able to read them so they can see what's happening and understand it a bit more. So be sure to leave those in the comments below, or on any of my social media, which is all in the description box below. And right up there, I'm going to leave the link to my last video, which I think you'll really enjoy. And right down there, I'm going to leave you a surprise video. It will be a health related video, but we'll just be surprised in which one it is. So click down there if you want to see that. And until next time, keep watching, stay strong and stay safe. Bye guys!